Well, it's that gift giving time of year, and since I am filming this after Thanksgiving, we can officially start talking about Christmas. If you're anything like me, as much as you'd like to try to get your Christmas shopping done early, probably gonna wait till the last minute. Here's my suggestions for all of the flute players in your life. Hi, welcome everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Katie and I am a nerdy flute player, which means I do covers of video game, anime, TV, and film music. And if all that sounds interesting, there'll be a link in the cards as well as in the description below where you can find all of my cover song music videos, as well as link to all of my music to all of your favorite streaming services, also linked in the description below. You can also find me over on twitch.tv/KatieShesko where I stream games such as Breath of the Wild. I'm working on a playthrough of Witcher 3 as well as board games and whatever else my audience wants to play with me. I also stream that here on YouTube, so if all of that sounds interesting, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload next. I am also over on patreon.com/KatieShesko where you can get behind the scenes, early access to my videos, as well as backtracks for the higher level tiers, and hopefully by the time this video goes live, my channel memberships will be also open. That's just another way to support me and my channel and my content, so if you are able to, please do that. But otherwise, like I said, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. That also helps my channel. Also follow me on all of my social media. And yeah, let's dive into today's video. I've been playing flute for, I don't want to say how long I've been playing flute because that just makes me feel old. So suffice to say, I've been a flute player for a while. And here are several things that I use or are also on my own wish list. Things that, you know, wink, wink, Mike, on my list for what I would like to receive for Christmas this year. So one of the first things that I use on a daily basis, and I actually own multiple of these, is the Hercules flute stand. I love this stand. It is so sturdy. I also like that it comes with 3 different holes so that you can put 3 different instruments on it. The stand itself comes with 2 flute and or clarinet and a piccolo peg, but you can also buy an alto peg or a bass peg and put that on there if you happen to play some of the bigger instruments. I personally like this because I have one set up in my flute studio so that my students have a place to put their flutes and I have a place to put my flutes, because with my philosophy, we do a lot of games and we do a lot of getting up and moving around. So we're not always sitting with our flute in hands, and it's just a really nice, secure place to put our flutes. That one stays assembled all the time in my studio. I also have one that is in my flute bag and I take it anywhere I happen to go, and it's just a really nice place to be able to put my flute. It keeps it up off a chair, because setting a flute on a chair, just please don't do it. It's not safe. Flutes get knocked off chairs so easily, or stands even. So I really like having that, and I'll still throw an extra flute peg in there because if my standmate also doesn't have one, then they can put their flute down too. It's just really handy and a really safe place to put your flute. I also like to have this because trying to do smaller practice sessions throughout the day, I'll leave my flute out on this stand and I know that my flute will be safe leaving it out. Now sometimes I'll move it to a table because I have a dog and I have kids. They are not always careful. But with my flute on the stand, it is much more safe than it was just sitting out on a table or a bench somewhere. Like I said, I own 2 of these and they have held up incredibly well. I've had them for years, and I always suggest when looking for a flute stand that you get the Hercules because it is just so versatile. You can add, like I mentioned, you can add different types of pegs to it for the different types of flutes that you have, and it just keeps it nice and secure. The next thing on my list is the ROI Multi Bag for flute. I have been using this for a couple years. I actually got it as a Christmas gift, I think 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and it is one of my favorite flute bags. I like how the big part holds both my flute, my piccolo, as well as my stand. There is a front part that holds all of my accessories, and then a back part for all of my music. It fits my tablet perfectly with a little bit of extra room. I usually throw my wallet back there as well. I love that it converts into a book bag, or it can be a messenger bag depending on how you want to use it. I primarily used it as a book bag just because carrying that with my stand, it was just so much easier to just have everything on my back. And also, as things get heavy, I'm getting older, I don't like carrying very heavy messenger bags, so I use it as a book bag, and it's been fantastic. This has gone on multiple music video shoots with me because, like I said, I can fit everything in there. If I know I'm not shooting anything with my piccolo, I can take my piccolo out and I can throw my water bottle in there, or sometimes I've thrown a change of costume in there, and having things, an extra hand to carry other stuff has been fantastic. It has held up well over the years, and honestly, I've actually given this to my daughter because she is now a flute player and she has been coming to flute choir with me, so it's nice because it fits her flute. Her flute is not a traditional flute case because it has a curved head joint and a straight head joint. I bought this for her when she was 6 and just starting on flute and couldn't quite reach the keys with a straight head joint. So because our flute is not a traditional flute case, it's more of an almost an alto flute size. It fits really well in the book bag, and she can carry her music and all of her supplies as well. And since she primarily uses a wire stand, the wire stand just pokes out the back and she carries it as a backpack, and it's been working great for her. It also comes in a lot of different colors. I like traditional black because then I can throw it on stage when I have a concert and it's a little bit more indiscreet. If your favorite flute player likes a little more pops of color, they have that option as well. I really recommend this bag. It is well worth the investment and makes a great gift for your favorite flute player in your life. This next one is something that has been on my wish list for several years now, but I've never gotten it, but it does make a great gift, and that is the Fluterscooter. These bags are really well made. It's made by a small business who is also a flute player. From what I'm told, it can hold your flute, your piccolo, and a bunch of accessories. This has been on my wish list for a while. I think it would work really well for me on the go when we're shooting music videos and I have a book bag because I'm carrying a costume and shoes and stuff. So having the flute separate but still having everything in one location. I'm a big proponent of having everything you need in one location, and I am known to have multiples. That way things can stay with the bag. I don't have to worry about taking things in and out and then forgetting it, because too many times have I shown up without a metronome or a pencil or a stand just because I had been using it elsewhere. So I like things that I can put everything in one location and all I need to do is grab and go, because let's be honest, sometimes you're running late and you're just rushing out the door and you'll forget things. So having everything in one spot is my go-to, and this bag definitely fits the bill. This one, like I said, has been on my list for a while. They come in a variety of colors and sizes, and it's just a really cute bag. I know a lot of people that use them and they really like them. So this one is personally on my list. So the Fluterscooter bag is something that I think you should possibly get for your favorite flute friend. Next up is something that was featured in my How to Clean a Flute video, which I will link in the cards above and in the description below. But this is the Flute Helix Wand. I love this cleaning wand. It is a little bit on the pricey side for a cleaning implement, but it has held up well for the past 2 years, which I've had one. I bought one for my daughter as well. It just cleans your flute so well with the petals on it. It gets in all the nooks and crannies, and really the microfiber absorbs all of the moisture inside your flute and leaves your flute nice and dry before you put it away. Now, it does come with an optional stick to extend it so that you can run the whole way of the flute. I personally don't like to do that because for me, I find it's a bit of a tight fit to do the whole flute at once, and I'm usually using it at the end of my practice session where I'm disassembling my flute anyway, so it's just much easier for me to do it one piece at a time. That's my personal preference. This Helix wand is one of the best cleaning products I have that actually gets all of the moisture out of my flute the first time around, which is fantastic when you're quickly trying to put things away and get going with your day. This one also comes in a variety of colors, and yeah, just adds a little fun flair and keeps your flute in tip-top precision. Now we're getting into some of my sheet music recommendations. The first one I want to talk about is the Orchestral Excerpts book by Jeannie Backstresser. I have had the honor of attending several masterclasses with her. She is a phenomenal flute player and a phenomenal teacher. I have learned so much just watching her master classes, and this Orchestral Excerpt book is so good. She does have a volume 2, which is on my wish list. I have not received volume 2 yet, but I've been using volume 1 for a while, and it does come with a piano reduction to play along if you are fortunate enough to have an accompaniment on hand. It's great because it does focus on very common excerpts that you will see in orchestral auditions. Now, I don't have any plans on auditioning for any orchestras anytime soon, but it's good to keep up with what is expected of flute players at that high of a level. And it's a really nice challenge, and the excerpts are usually a handful of lines long. So it's a great thing to warm up on, to kind of keep up with, and to work on without it being a full piece. My next suggestion is called Fit in 15 Minutes. And as a busy mom and as a busy flute player, I love this concept. This book is full of short excerpts, short studies that you can do that focus on tone, articulation, all the boring things that we as flute players need to do. But, you know, when you are short on practice time, you really don't have hours to spend on those little tiny things. So this book is great for picking 1 or 2 exercises and working through them as a part of a warm-up so that you're still kind of keeping up with your technique and your technical studies and some of those, you know, more mundane aspects of flute playing, but are really important in order to be a really good flute player. Having a book that has these exercises already laid out for you and sectioned off into whether you want to do tone, articulation, scale exercises, all the things that we need to be doing as flute players to keep up our craft, but sometimes go by the wayside when our practice time is short. I will sometimes spend just 5 to 10 minutes on these, picking them up here and there, and it really just helps keep me in tip-top shape, no matter if I'm practicing a classical solo, or if I'm practicing a cover that I'm working on. It's a fantastic way to stay in tip-top shape without having to invest too much time. The small bits of practice consistently will always go further, and this book really helps facilitate that. The last piece of sheet music that I want to talk about, The Aspiring Flutist Practice Companion by Dr. Terry Sanchez. I bought this a couple of years ago at the NFA convention, National Flute Association convention, and I really enjoy this book. I saw Terry Sanchez host a warm-up session at the NFA, and her 10 to 12 minute daily warm-up is one that I still use to this day and use primarily. And it's in this, I was really excited when I picked up this book that it's in there, as well as a part 2, which is fantastic. I loved her warm-up because it kind of went through long tones, scale work, vibrato, some tonguing, as well as enharmonic. So it kind of ran the gambit of warm-ups, but it was condensed into a 10-minute warm-up, which is great for this busy mom and flute player. But what I really liked about this book is she talked about her flute journey. She gives motivation and practice techniques, as well as games that you can do while practicing to help you learn your repertoire, help you memorize your repertoire if that's what you're working on, as well as other just general tips on how to be a really good flute player. I would say that this is mostly for all ages. Some of the exercise might be slightly above for beginner flute players, but the motivation, the information, and the practice games will be right up any flute player's alley, no matter if you're just starting out or you've been playing flute for a long time. I really like that it's spiral bound. It sits really well on my stand. I like that the games she suggested are broken up into whether you're just trying to work on memorization, or if you're trying to work on speeding something up, or if you're just working on general practice. So the games are kind of tailored to what you're trying to work on within your own practice session, or per piece. Each piece is a little bit different. So yeah, I really like this book. There's a lot of good information. You can even just get it for the warm-up guide, because like I said, I've been using that guide almost every practice session for the last 5 years. It is just that good as a very busy mom who doesn't have 2 hours to sit and practice some days. Sometimes I only have a half hour, so having a 10-minute warm-up that still hits on all of the basics and the techniques is something I really appreciate and really love. So my next 2 suggestions are kind of more splurge items, more of the expensive items, and I don't own either one, but I definitely want to mention them. The first one is a Wiseman case. These cases are virtually indestructible from what I have seen. They hold the flute in suspension, so they protect the flute from any banging around or jostling. It keeps your flute perfectly safe. It's a very slim profile. They are gorgeous cases. Now, if I lived in the city or if I was doing a lot of commuting with my flute, I probably would invest in one of these because it would just be a surefire way to keeping my flute safe. But considering I mostly am at home, especially these days in the pandemic, and I'm, traveling by car to a rehearsal, my flute is relatively safe in the case that I came in. But if I was doing a lot more commuting or anything like that, I would definitely invest in one of these Wiseman cases. Like I said, they're so sturdy and indestructible. They keep your flute really safe, and a lot of professional musicians that I have seen use these cases, especially if they do a lot of traveling, because your flute is your profession, so you need to make sure that you're keeping your instrument in top condition, and this case helps do that, especially if you are out and about. This is another flute bag that has been on my wish list for a couple of years, and I have just yet to invest in one because I am a frugal person by nature, and my flute bags that I have now are fantastic. But a high-end splurge that maybe if one day I make a lot of money with my music, I will a Dome City flute tote. This bag is gorgeous. It holds your flute, your piccolo, all of your accessories. The bag is sleek. It can be a tote or it can be turned into a backpack. You can see that I have a thing for flute backpacks. I just love them because, carting around in National Flute Association conventions, or I've done some summer camps where I'm walking between buildings or I'm doing a lot of walking, where having a backpack with all of my flute stuff is a lifesaver. Just trying to carry a tote bag or a messenger I left those places very sore. So I love things that can either be a tote for when you're just trying to get in and out of the car really quickly, or a backpack if you know you're going to be doing a fair bit of walking. So bags that do double duty, I absolutely love. And this bag does it. Not only does it do double duty, but it is just gorgeous. The price tag is a little bit high for a flute bag. Maybe one day if I'm really good, Santa will bring me one, but these bags are just gorgeous. It's been on my wish list for a while. Yeah, if you really want to splurge on your favorite flute player, I suggest this bag because it's sleek, it holds everything, it looks good, and I like options. Give me options, and this bag has those options. And like I said, gorgeous. It's great if you're a professional, that you have a nice bag, it just looks good, and you're always on point. Now, if none of these things sound interesting, or if your favorite flute player has all of these things, then you can always get them a gift card to their favorite local flute shop, local instrument repair, or the shop that they send. I know the couple shops that I've sent my flute to repair for always offer gift cards. Get them a gift card from their repair shop of choice. A flute should ideally go in yearly for a COA, which is a clean oil adjustment. I send mine in about every 2 years, and it's what is really necessary to keep the flute in tip-top shape. Pads wear out, things get out of alignment over time. It can get expensive, so getting your favorite flute player a gift card to where they get their flute taken care of would just be so much, it would be really nice. I know I would always appreciate that because it helps either pay for it or offset the cost, and then I can use that money for other things, like maybe going to get a coffee or investing in something new for my studio. So a gift card can always, I know people don't particularly like to give gift cards. I'm one of those weird people. Please give me a gift card, because then that opens up more room on my budget for other things. So I always appreciate gift cards as gifts. It's really nice. And if you get them something like that, I know for me, when I just get money in cash, I tend to spend it on my kids or throw it in the family pot. But a gift card for something specific that only I can use it's always appreciated. And yeah, a gift card to where they get their flute done so that they can get a clean oil adjustment, always suggested or highly appreciated. Or a gift card helps them get specific sheet music. It's really hard to recommend specific sheet music because everyone's tastes are a little bit different. Everyone's working on different things. Everyone has different levels. But So a gift card to their favorite flute shop of choice is always appreciated. All right, that was my 2021 flute gift guide. Some of the things that I've owned and used for a while. Some of the things are on my own personal wish list. I will leave everything linked below. Anything that has a star will be an affiliate link, which means I will make a little bit of commission on that if you click your link, but many of these will not be affiliated. I would venture to say most of these will not be affiliated because I will be linking these to small flute shops. I am not sponsored. I hope you enjoy this. If you have a favorite flute player and they have something that they want, leave it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas or new suggestions, or someone else might appreciate it as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a very happy holiday, and may your December not be stressful and full of merry and joy. Thanks so much. I'll catch you in the next one.